Well, thank you, Chairman. Certainly not the most important person, but I would like to speak to the bill. And thank you for your words at the beginning. Appreciate it. This is an important bill, something that needs to be done. The Preserving Presidential Management Authority Act would ensure that the duly elected president is not bound by collective bargaining agreements negotiated under a previous presidential administration. This is important, and we can see most recently that in the last days of the Joe Biden presidency, his administration worked around the clock to saddle President Trump with onerous collective bargaining agreements. As you mentioned, Chairman, for example, in December 2024, a month before Trump was to take office, the Social Security Administration Commissioner, Martin O'Malley, signed a collective bargaining agreement to look into pandemic-era telework policies for 42,000 federal employees, oddly, until 2029, the entire duration of President Trump's term. Again, on January 17th, 2025, 3 days before Trump was to take office, the Department of Education signed a collective bargaining agreement with AFGE until 2030. Even Politico ran an article titled, "The Fed's Race to Ink Union Deals That Last Beyond Trump," which documented CBAs and negotiations with the EPA, National Park Service, Federal Regulatory Commission, and the Bureau of Land Management. It's not just telework that's the issue. As we've established in other committee hearings, these unions that have been negotiating these CBAs have demonstrated a clear political bias. AFGE, the largest federal union workforce, has donated over $3 million to PACs since the 2020 cycle. Of that total, 95% went to Democrats. AFG also endorsed Kamala Harris for president, which they certainly had the right to do, but it's notable that in 2020 they endorsed Biden, 2016 they endorsed Hillary, 2012 and 2008 they endorsed President Barack Obama. So we're seeing a trend here. This is a political organization that is as much as it is a union for our workforce. Additionally, the National Treasury Employees Union has donated over $700,000 to PACs in the 2020 cycle. Almost 99% of the money was given to Democrat organizations. It's clear we need a solution to these midnight CBAs, which only serve to ensnare President Trump and his agenda. My bill allows any incoming president to terminate any provision of a CBA and nullifies provisions of a CBA which conflict with rule, executive order, or presidential memorandum. This bill ensures that existing CBAs do not conflict with any incoming presidential policy. And ultimately, this really comes down to the fact that elections matter, and the Article 2 of our Constitution gives an executive, the President of the United States, the authority to execute the laws of the land and to administer his administration. And so it is important that no previous president, regardless of if I like the policies of that president or not, be encumbered by a previous president's contracts and agreements with the federal workforce. And so this bill seeks to amend that and ensure that any incoming president has the ability to revisit those contracts and to renegotiate them if necessary. And thank you, Chairman, for the time and for your consideration of this bill in committee markup today. And I yield back.